Welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna Coles, and this morning we're visiting with Kristin Hildabrand, Warren County Extension Agent for Horticulture. Good morning, Kristin.
Good morning, Joanna.
It's probably one of your favorite topics that we're talking about today,
Yes.
and that's cut flowers. You talked about harvesting, but then when you get them home, that's always kind of my stumbling block. I'm not exactly for sure what to do with them and how to make them last.
Right, yeah. So those are great questions, and I would just say, especially for caring for your particular cut flowers, after you do get them home, just allow the flowers to rest before you maybe add them to a different container if you said that they're in a bouquet that's wrapped. And basically what that is it's a form of conditioning. So, you know, with this bucket of flowers that we have on the set here, we actually cut those. What the conditioning process looks like, for at least 3 to 4 hours, you just want to let the blooms kind of rest, because, you know, you've just kind of literally harvest them from the plant, kind of give them a couple of hours, at least 3 to 4. It's usually better overnight if you've got that. So if like you have a big event that's coming up at your house and you want to have these blooms for those different arrangements, maybe for a tablescape or something like that, it is good if you can kind of put them in a cooler location and just kind of let them rest before you start, you know, adding them to your vases. And
that would be my first mistake, because I would be so excited that I would want to put them together.
Yes.
But I've seen you do that before, like even when you got bulk flowers in, you put them in a bucket and kind of let them hang out for a little bit.
Yes, and one of the other things that you might want to do after you do that is add a little bit of floral life or preservative to the water itself. So if you can do that, it kind of keeps the bacteria out as well. It kind of gives them some nutrition again after you've gone out and cut. So if you can do that, I highly recommend it, because it does preserve the life of your blooms also. One other thing I want to mention, especially about caring, especially if you buy and move it over into a different vase or container, is that you always make sure you use a clean vase. And sometimes I don't do a very good job of this myself, because after I've used it, I'm like, oh, I'll just, you know, rinse it up, you know, right before I get ready to use it. So you do want to make sure that there's not a lot of buildup of bacteria in that. So basically the rule that I like to use is that if you can drink out of it, it's going to be good for your cut flowers to actually take their drink out of as well. The other thing I want to mention, especially when you get it into another vase, is that you remove that lower leaves, the lower foliage. A lot of these, you know, like when you're harvesting, you want to harvest it as long as you possibly can, and then whenever you put it in the water, if you see any sort of foliage, you want to make sure that you get that out, because it dirties the water and then it lessens that cut flower vase life. So that's something else to kind of watch out for. It's probably easier to do that in a clear type vase, because you can see it whenever that water starts to get cloudy and, you know, kind of a green appearance. So just kind of keep an eye out for that. The other thing is, when you do get it into some sort of vase or container, make sure you go ahead and recut those stems before placing it into another vase or container. And again, you know, it's better to recut, so that way it just reactivates that stem, so that way it can take up that water as best as possible. And then, you know, the other thing, because people will ask, you know, where's the best place in my home to place my flowers? Well, here's a couple of examples. Place it away from any kind of direct light. The best thing to make sure, especially when you're in the kitchen area, is to make sure it stays away from any kind of ripening fruits and vegetables. And so for the month of July, we're probably bringing some things in from our garden, and a lot of times if it's tomatoes or things like that, we may leave those out on the counter. So just be really, really careful, because a lot of those ripening fruits and vegetables, they give off the ethylene gas, and so what happens is that, you know, it kind of makes that go a little bit faster.
Kristin, how often do you need to change your water?
I would say daily. Some of these stems that we have, they have hair, and so it kind of dirties the water a little bit faster. Zinnias are really bad for doing that. So I would say daily, but, you know, definitely check it every other day if nothing else.
And do you need to recut your stems each time or just once?
Yeah, recut those stems each time, so that way that, again, you provide a nice clean cut each time that you're doing that for the water to uptake.
All right, Kristin, all great tips. Hopefully now my cut flowers will last longer. Hope yours will too. But if you have questions, make sure to contact your local extension office. Thanks for watching and have a great day.